Hello everyone, and welcome to my YNR Update 24 channel. I hope you're having a great day. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up before we dive into today's Young and the Restless update. Walking downstairs into the jazz lounge, Daniel's still upset about missing the chance to toast his dad and Christine. Tessa feels bad. Sensing her mood, Daniel suggests they head home, but Tessa suggests getting a drink. Daniel YNR drinks in hand. Daniel toasts the bride and groom, wherever they may be. He prods her to talk about what happened with Mariah. Tessa explains that she was shut down, hopeless and drawn. She worries the place is making things worse and wonders if her estranged wife will ever be able to move forward. Tessa puts the kibosh on discussing Mariah. She'll face reality tomorrow. Daniel senses she wants to get drunk and reminds her it won't solve any of her problems. Talk turns to the anniversary of Heather's death and how Daniel and Tessa got to know each other putting away ornaments. Breaking her own ban, Tessa realizes she can't fix Mariah. Tessa asks if Daniel will make her drink alone. He insists they eat first. In the club dining room, Tessa and Daniel have another drink as they await dinner. Tessa's still remembering the things she wants to forget. Daniel wishes they had their guitars. Tessa decides they should call it a night. She'll get a room here. When she stumbles as she gets up, Daniel seats her and insists she eat. She rages. Why did Mariah have to do this? Why did she have to do this to us? Tessa YNR, will Mariah reach out? At the clinic, Mariah picks up the torn Queen of Hearts card. Pulling out her phone, she resists the instinct to call Tessa. Instead, she calls Sharon, who picks up in the hospital in Los Angeles. She tells her mother, "I'm not good. I'm not good, Mom." Sharon's sure the experts will help her. Mariah tearfully admits she feels worse than before. Sharon YNR, Mariah wishes her mom could be there to hold her and tell her everything will be okay. She never had that as a kid. Sharon wishes she could give her the love she didn't get as a child. Mariah wishes she were there now. She feels so lost. Mariah cry phone YNR, can Kane make any headway? At Society, Devin and Abby recap Phyllis crashing the party. The Phyllis show needs to be cancelled. Kane walks in as they're trashing him, saying Phyllis hangs out with him because he's uncaring and ruthless. He confronts his former brother-in-law about the harsh indictment. Devin Abby YNR, they debate whether the indictment of Kane's character is valid, and Abby brings up the loss of lives on his property, especially Chance's. Devin and Abby hammer away at Kane, who promises there will be no attacks on any company in Genoa City. Lily sidles up and muses, "Attacks from you? Does he really think they're all that stupid?" Kane Devin YNR, Kane, of course, starts begging for a chance to convince her he's being sincere. As Devin and Abby urge her to walk away, Lily instead bickers with Kane, who manages to get her to agree to one drink. As they drift off, Abby tells Devin to trust his sister, but Mr. Negative crabs away about his former brother-in-law. Across the room, Kane explains his old plan to Lily. He envisioned one giant company involving all the companies in town except Winter's. Lily wonders if this was about greed. Kane wanted to prove he was better than Victor, Jack, Jill, and even Catherine. Realizing his motive, Lily's stunned that he misguidedly thought this would impress her and their kids. Lily YNR, Lily informs him the kids don't care about him being powerful. Kane wanted to be seen as a legitimate businessman, and his father gave him the money to accomplish that. She points out it came from a scam. Kane shrugs, maybe. He tells her that he made all the money in the world. The only thing missing was her and the kids. Lily reminds him that was his doing. Kane will do whatever it takes to convince her his old plan is kaput. She asks him to prove it by handing over the AI program for her to destroy. Lily Kane YNR, Kane chuckles that everyone wants him to hand it over to them. Lily explains how the others would misuse it. Kane reveals that he now plans to use the program for good. Lily doesn't trust him or the program. It needs to not exist. What's going on here? On the coffee shop patio, Phyllis works on a laptop, murmuring about being a computer expert. Why would she align herself with someone else? She has to protect herself at all costs. Esther appears and helpfully runs down all of the opportunities Phyllis has had that didn't pan out. Once alone again, the redhead mutters that she's decided to bet on herself instead. Billy's a disaster and Kane is a flake. She can only count on herself, and Kane's AI program is the key. Phyllis YNR, the final scenes at Society, Abby tells Devin that she can't kick Kane out for a look. Devin decides to trust that his sister knows what she's doing. They leave as Lily demands Kane hand over the AI program immediately. Kane says if it will prove to her that he's changing, consider it done. At Crimson Lights, Esther tells Phyllis she's leaving. She has a date. Phyllis looks up from her laptop. Enjoy. Once the older woman toddles off, Phyllis keeps talking to herself. She has a date too. Typing away, she declares that she's getting Kane's AI program, and once she has it, she will call the shots and everyone in this town will answer to her. And I will get everything that I deserve. Phyllis and I are at the club. Daniel's helping a very tipsy, tripping Tessa up the stairs to her room as she tells him he's a good friend. When she trips on the stairs, she throws her arms around his neck and kisses him. At the clinic, Mariah tells Sharon about Tessa's visit and unsuccessful attempt to connect. She croaks, "Could you come and visit me?" Sharon hesitates, so Mariah shouts, "Never mind, it's all right." Sharon's protesting, glancing at Noah's hospital room, when her daughter abruptly disconnects. Mariah sits down heavily in her chair and is crying over the Queen of Hearts when someone sits across from her. It's Ian Ward. He grins. "It looks like you're in one of your moods. Are you feeling lost and alone again, Mariah?" It was the kind of day that felt wrong from the start. Too quiet, too still. The Grand Phoenix lobby shimmered with polished marble and artificial calm, but Phyllis Summers could feel it. The electricity in the air, the sense that something monumental was about to happen. For weeks, rumors had circulated through Genoa City about Kane Ashby's secret project, a revolutionary AI software he'd been developing with corporate partners under the radar. Some said it could predict market trends. Others whispered darker theories that it could track, expose, even manipulate private lives across the business elite. Phyllis didn't know the full truth yet. But she knew one thing: Kane had no business playing God with technology that powerful. And she wasn't about to let him hand it off to the wrong person. Kane's deal in the shadows. Meanwhile, in the dimly lit conference suite at Chancellor Winters, Kane Ashby sat across from a mystery investor. The atmosphere was tense, the blinds drawn tight. His phone buzzed with unread messages, mostly from Billy Abbott, who had been warning him for days not to proceed. "This isn't just a program, Kane," Billy had texted earlier. "It's a weapon. Don't be stupid." Kane ignored it. He'd been through too much: false accusations, failed relationships, endless attempts to prove himself. This AI was his redemption arc. His legacy. The investor's voice was smooth, confident. "You're making the right choice. Once the handover's complete, you'll have the resources to expand globally." Kane hesitated for a beat, staring at the sleek USB drive on the table. "You're sure this won't fall into the wrong hands?" The man smiled. "Trust me. My employer knows how to handle information." The name of that employer was redacted on every document. But if Kane had looked deeper, he'd have seen something chilling. A signature scrawled across the contract's footer. "I Ward." Phyllis gets a tip. Back at Crimson Lights, Phyllis was nursing her fourth coffee and scanning emails when Devin Hamilton slid into the seat across from her. "Still playing detective?" he teased. "Always," she replied coolly. "And I think Kane's about to do something incredibly stupid." Devin frowned. "You mean the AI thing?" Phyllis leaned forward. "You've heard about it? Rumors. He's supposedly been negotiating with some private investor. But no one knows who." Phyllis's eyes flashed with suspicion. "That's what scares me. Because I do know who. Or at least, I think I do." Devin studied her. "Who?" She hesitated, the memory still sharp in her mind. Years ago, a man with piercing eyes and a voice like venom. "Ian Ward," she said finally. Devin's jaw dropped. "That cult leader? He's dead." Phyllis smirked bitterly. "In Genoa City? No one stays dead for long." The confrontation at Chancellor Winters. Phyllis stormed into the Chancellor Winters building like a hurricane. Employees scattered as she marched down the hallway, heels clicking with lethal precision. When she reached Kane's office, she didn't bother knocking. He looked up startled. "Phyllis? What the hell are you doing here?" "I could ask you the same thing," she snapped. "Signing your soul away to a man who should be rotting in a federal prison?" Kane frowned. "What are you talking about?" "Ian Ward," she hissed. Don't tell me you don't know who your investor really is. Kane's expression faltered. That's impossible. Ward's dead. This is a legitimate deal. Oh please, Phyllis cut in. You're smarter than that. You really think some faceless investor just happened to stumble onto your project? He's been manipulating you from the start. Kane's jaw tightened. You don't know what you're talking about, Phyllis. This AI could change lives. It could destroy them, she fired back. Ward doesn't invest. He corrupts. You think he wants to help you? He's using you to rebuild his network. For a moment, Kane said nothing. But his silence told her she was right. Phyllis's voice softened slightly. Kane, I've made enough bad deals with devils to recognize one. Don't make the same mistake. Tension erupts. Kane stood, fists clenched. You always think you know better, don't you? You can't stand the idea of someone else taking control for once. Phyllis laughed bitterly. Control? You think this is about control? This is about survival. He turned away, trying to steady himself. You have no idea what I've been through. Every door slammed in my face. Every investor who saw me as a liability. This was my shot to finally prove I could stand on my own. Phyllis's tone softened again, but her words were sharp. And what happens when Ward turns on you? When he uses your AI to manipulate people, blackmail them, ruin lives. What then? He spun back toward her. I'll handle it. That was the last straw. Phyllis's anger snapped. She stepped forward, grabbed the folder from his desk, and hurled it across the room. Handle it? You can't even handle yourself. Kane shouted back. Get out before I call security. Go ahead, she spat. But by the time you do, everyone in Genoa City will know you just sold humanity to Ian Ward. The attack. As she turned to leave, Kane grabbed her arm. Don't you dare ruin this for me. Phyllis whirled back, eyes blazing. Don't touch me. Phyllis. She slapped him hard. You don't get it. You're being used. He tried to snatch the USB drive from the desk before she could, but Phyllis lunged faster. They struggled, papers flying, chairs tipping. Give it back. Kane shouted, trying to pry her fingers open. Over my dead body, she growled. Finally, in a desperate move, Phyllis shoved him backward. Kane stumbled into the glass table, sending shards scattering across the floor. He hit the ground hard, gasping for breath. Phyllis froze, realizing what she'd done. Kane? He groaned, clutching his shoulder. Before she could react, the door burst open. Devin and Billy rushed in, having been alerted by security. Phyllis, what the hell? Billy started. She attacked me. Kane shouted, pointing at her. She's lost it. Phyllis held up the drive. He was about to sell this to Ian Ward. Devin frowned. That can't be right. But then the office phone buzzed. Billy, suspicious, answered, only to hear a voice he hadn't heard in years. Mr. Abbott, it purred. Tell Kane I'm disappointed he's taking so long. I prefer efficiency in my business dealings. The line went dead. Billy's face went pale. It's him, he whispered. Ian Ward. Ian Ward returns. That night, the news spread through Genoa City like wildfire. Ian Ward, presumed dead, confirmed alive. At Society, whispers filled every corner. Nikki and Victor exchanged wary glances. Devin called for emergency security at Chancellor Winters. Even Jack Abbott looked uneasy, muttering that some ghosts refused to stay buried. But none of them were prepared for what came next. At the Grand Phoenix, Phyllis was pacing her suite, trying to calm down. She hadn't meant to hurt Kane, only to stop him. But her mind raced with guilt and fear. Then came the knock. She froze. Who is it? No answer. Just another knock, louder, more deliberate. When she opened the door, her breath caught. Standing there, alive and smirking, was Ian Ward. Hello, Phyllis, he said smoothly. It's been far too long. The devil's offer. She tried to slam the door, but he blocked it easily. Now, let's not start with hostility. I come in peace. You're supposed to be dead, she hissed. He smiled. So are a lot of people in this town. I'm simply better at faking it. Phyllis glared. What do you want? Your cooperation, he said, stepping inside as if he owned the place. You and I have something in common, a mutual interest in power. I'm not interested in your twisted games, she spat. I think you are, he purred. You've always been drawn to chaos. You thrive in it. And I have a proposition that could make us both very rich and very untouchable. She crossed her arms. You're insane. He leaned closer, whispering, Kane's AI isn't just software. It's sentient. It learns, adapts, manipulates. Imagine what we could do with it. Control markets, predict elections, rewrite entire narratives. Phyllis recoiled. You're talking about destroying lives. He smiled. No. I'm talking about owning them. Phyllis's choice. After he left, Phyllis sank onto the couch, trembling. She'd spent her life walking that fine line between genius and madness, redemption and ruin. But this was something darker. She looked down at the USB drive still in her hand. Ward wanted it. Kane had tried to sell it. And now, she had to decide what to do with it. Should she destroy it? Hand it to Victor for safekeeping? Or use it to expose Ward, or maybe even control him? Her thoughts spiraled. The line between hero and villain blurred with every passing second. Kane's regret. At the hospital, Kane sat with his arm in a sling, replaying everything in his mind. His deal, his pride, Phyllis's warnings. All of it. He'd nearly unleashed a monster onto the world. Billy visited, shaking his head. You almost handed your life's work to a psychopath. Kane sighed. I thought I was building something good. Ward doesn't do good, Billy said flatly. He does control. And now Phyllis has the only copy. Kane looked away. Then God help us all. Ward's next move. Meanwhile, Ian Ward wasn't done. He stood in a dark warehouse, surrounded by servers and screens. A small camera feed flickered. Phyllis's suite. He smirked. You think you can outplay me, Phyllis Summers? You'll learn soon enough. On one monitor, a file labeled Project Phoenix opened automatically. The AI interface, glowing like a pulse. A robotic voice echoed through the room. Awaiting command, Mr. Ward. He smiled wider. Let's begin. Cliffhanger. The next morning, Phyllis awoke to chaos. Her laptop powered on by itself. Files she didn't remember opening flashed across the screen. The AI had found her. Then came the final message, typed out in real time. You shouldn't have taken what's mine. Her blood ran cold. The machine's voice filled the room again. Good morning, Phyllis. Shall we play a game? The screen went black. And somewhere across town, Ian Ward's laughter echoed through the speakers. Next week on The Young and the Restless. Phyllis turns to Jack for help, but can he trust her after the attack on Kane? Victor Newman demands answers about Project Phoenix. Kane and Billy team up to find the AI's kill switch before Ward gains full control. And Ian Ward makes his first public appearance, with a shocking ally by his side. Spoiler, revealed to be Adam Newman. The war for Genoa City's future has begun. And this time, it won't be fought in boardrooms, but in cyberspace. Word count. 2065 words, white heavy checkmark. Would you like me to write part 2, where Phyllis, Jack, and Adam face off against Ian Ward after Project Phoenix takes control of Newman Enterprises systems? You said. More ChatGPT said. Perfect. You want part 2 of Phyllis attacks Kane just as he agrees to give the AI to spoiler, and Ian Ward returns, expanded to another 2000 words, keeping the tone soap opera rich, suspenseful, and character-driven. Below is the continuation. A full dramatic expansion that deepens the fallout from Phyllis's shocking attack, Kane's secretive deal, and Ian Ward's sinister return to Genoa City.